Hello, it is Troy Ryerson with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, and I am here today with Connie and Claire. And I'm not going to tell you all about their story because that's what we're going to use the next, 15 to 20 minutes to do is really talk about the inception of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Alaska Realty, and talk about the journey, kind of when they went live and what's happened over the last 100 days, I guess, at this point. We're almost at 100 days now, I would say, if not a little bit more, a day or two more. And I'll let you correct me on that because you probably know better than I do. But
yep, we are since June 16th.
June 16th with launch. Yep, it sure was. So excited
Right.
to be here with you guys. Obviously, we get to talk all the time, and I'm excited to share the story and really the why with others that we come up with today. And well, first I'll start. Connie, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? And then Claire, please feel free to follow Connie on that as well, if you don't mind, just for a couple minutes.
Well, I have been in the real estate market in Anchorage, Alaska for approximately 40 years. I have owned this is my third brokerage that I have owned. I owned Fortune Properties, which I franchised with Coldwell Banker, and ultimately sold. And then I launched Dwell Realty, and Dwell Realty has now morphed into Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Alaska Realty on June 16th of this year.
Yeah, awesome. And Claire, tell us about your ride, how you became associated with Dwell and now Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, excuse me.
I am Claire. I am the business development director here. I've been with Connie for about 4.5 years, basically since I moved here from Colorado. So I've been working in real estate for about 8 years. In Colorado was where I kind of got my foot in the door. But I do a little bit of everything for Connie, whether it's business development, marketing, building websites. I mean, there's a lot going on with this transition. So.
Yes, and that's one of the things, and I won't get into this too deep, but that's one of the things that's so unique about your organization, Connie, and the use of just the amazing people that you have, whether it's Claire, whether it's Steve, whether it's a lot of the great brokers and agents that you have. You guys wear a lot of hats. You're a very nimble organization, which is super cool. And that's kind of what we're going to get into a little bit is what's taken place. So I'd love to begin by asking the question, Connie, how long after you opened the doors as a Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices franchised company did you begin receiving phone calls and emails and texts? And what was the nature of those calls, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, the first call came, and it wasn't really a call, it was a listing presentation because I am an active broker in the marketplace as well. And I shared with them, because it was just a few days before our actual launch, that we were going to become Berkshire Hathaway. And what they said to me was, we want to be the first listing with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. And so they actually waited 4 or 5 days to actually have the first Berkshire Hathaway sign in all of our territory, actually.
That's really cool.
That was very, very exciting. And of course, we got lots of, someone said to me, well, do you work for Warren Buffett now? And I said, well, there's a ladder here. But we're very happy to be associated with Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett. So a lot of people a lot of people said, well, did you sell to Berkshire Hathaway? No, we're still here. We're still an independent company.
Yeah.
But we now have a greater reach both nationally and internationally, and we have more technology to support our services to buyers and sellers.
Yeah, that's great. And Connie, I know this, but have you received multiple calls for listings just because you're with Berkshire Hathaway now?
We definitely have, and a lot of those are more in, our average price point here in Anchorage, Alaska is $362,000. But one of the things that we've noticed is we've really been able to promote and take advantage of the luxury collection. Our top 10% starts at about $700,000.
That's great. That's great. And how has it been for, so I know listings have picked up, and I want to preface this by saying, Connie, you had a great company prior to being Berkshire Hathaway, and I want to give you an incredible amount of credit for who you were and what you did with Dwell. It was one of the reasons why I was so interested in talking with you and hoping we could put something together to put our brand with your knowledge and who you are and who your team is, because you represent the company in such a great way. And with the legacy that you had in Anchorage, Alaska for the number of years that you've been there, it's a cool story to tell that the brand actually lifted the listings really overnight. You had people interested in learning more about Berkshire Hathaway and becoming more interested, and hopefully accelerating the path to actually getting the listings and eliminating some of the competition along the way, being that, you know, we're helping to build your company on our shoulders a little bit. And it sounds like that was the case.
Well, we've had a 23% increase in gross volume this year, of which we contribute a significant portion of that, not to just a good market, but to Berkshire Hathaway in itself. You know, when we go out on listing presentations now, which Alan Dalton wants us to call marketing proposals, which I 100% agree with, you know, I have been in one situation where we started our PowerPoint presentation, and we always begin with Berkshire Hathaway, and they said, oh, that's all right. We bought Berkshire Hathaway stock 30 years ago. Let's just get on with it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. How has the brand helped you with recruiting? Let's talk about the internal part of the business as well now. So when you're recruiting agents, I mean, we know there's fierce competition in all the markets that we're in. Anchorage, Alaska, and the surrounding area is no different. Has the brand helped you in gaining additional conversations, or perhaps conversations that you weren't able to have prior to becoming Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices?
Well, I think the name recognition has helped us tremendously in recruitment, and also the services, the marketing and the services that are available. And Claire, you can speak to that, I think.
Well, and also I think, you know, a few months in now, we're getting calls from people that we've never spoken to before, and they just trust the brand and they're excited about the brand. We just met with a woman yesterday and she's signing on today. So it's been really exciting. But really, you know, focusing on all of the benefits. The health insurance has been really one driving force behind our recruiting. And AdWorks has been a really powerful tool that people are really taking advantage of as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Claire.
The fact that we have the entire state, so we are getting broker-to-broker referrals actually for statewide properties. So that's very interesting. So this is one thing I would say that was unexpected, really, quite frankly, is how strong the broker-to-broker network really is. Because we have had calls from several different states. And then I had a very good friend who was in Southern California. Her sister-in-law was having difficulty connecting with a broker that could give her the time and the attention that she needed. And we were able to work and refer her to someone, and they sold her house. She bought a new house in less than a week. So
fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah. My friend thinks I'm wonderful.
And
all I did was really make a phone call.
I love it. I love it. And as you know, we're just getting started. I'm just getting started to introduce you to just the people that I know, even here on the West Coast, covering 12 states here. And right. And now that things are, I would love to say subsiding and slowing down, but they're really not. I'm just kind of waiting until you guys can catch a breath so we can make some more introductions and keep that channel wide open for you guys too. And I'm really glad the Southern California thing worked out as well.
It really. It was $2 million worth of properties, actually.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Connie and Claire, what were some of the comments that were made to you as people begin to understand you were going to become Berkshire Hathaway Home Services?
Probably the most memorable one is from a realtor who we ultimately did recruit for our commercial division. And he said, you owned Dwell Realty for 8 years and you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars promoting it. And I can't believe you just threw it all away for Berkshire Hathaway.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I know, you know, other people say the same thing and they're like, well, if you were willing to do it, so am I, and they join on.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And we won't share any names on this, but we have had some, for those of you who are watching, we've had some tremendous success in bringing over top producers from other organizations to where I've been fortunate enough and blessed enough to be part of that role, which has been a lot of fun. And we're creating just incredible relationships across the board, which that energy is starting to stir even more as well, I know. And there's seems to be even a larger uptick of people reaching out to you directly now and saying, hey, what's going on over there? We're noticing some key people that are starting to move your direction, which is super exciting.
And the people that are that we have recruited are beginning to bring referrals into us as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, one of the questions I had on here today was, you know, has it changed and elevated your status in the marketplace? And I think we've already covered that with a lot of what we've talked about. And again, this isn't to discount anything that Dwell has done, because you guys were absolutely an amazing organization. You still are. It's just cool to see the small tweaks. Gino Blafari talks about them all the time. You just got to make small tweaks every single day, and pretty soon you'll notice big changes. And I think with Berkshire Hathaway, we're able to make a lot of those small tweaks initially that add up to be larger changes too. I was even going to ask.
Well, I have to tell you, Troy, it's more work than what we thought it was.
Absolutely, more work.
You know what? It's a new system, and I applaud you guys for diving in though, because what you did in your early days, again, we're gosh, right around 100 days in or so. What you guys did in the early is you went in head first. You didn't go in feet first. You went in head first, and you adapted everything you could as quickly as possible to take advantage of what was there and take advantage of the energy that was being created just by announcing that you're Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Alaska Realty. And so again, I applaud you for everything you've done. And yes, it can be a little bit of work in the beginning, especially when you're drinking from a fire hose like that. As a matter of fact, Connie, I think I shared with you, and Claire, I think I shared with you, I talked to one of your agents last week or the week before, and we were talking about the halo effect. And the halo effect, for those of you watching this, the halo effect is something we refer to quite a bit in when it comes to Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway Inc., and how that relates back to Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. It's that media and that play that we get gives us a lot of eyeballs and a lot of attention on our real estate brokerages. And this person had said, Troy, they should call it the fire hose effect, not the halo effect.
Right.
Because immediately,
Absolutely.
Yeah, when I changed over my cards and my signs, it was unbelievable. And he said, people just look at me differently now. They look at me as somebody that's a professional in this market. And again, that's so hard. So it's not tangible when I'm sharing that with others. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this video, is so people could hear it from people that are living it early on right now. And it's pretty cool to see. Another question I had on here, we already covered as well, is, you know, are you attracting listings faster? And your answer was yes. And are you winning listings more often? And the answer was yes, through your marketing presentations that you're going to be using more often.
Right.
And if you were to guess, and again, and I want to preface, this is just a guess, it doesn't have to be spot on, but how many listings do you think that you've acquired in these last 90 to 100 days that you would attribute mainly because of the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services brand?
Personally, or for the entire office?
I would
For the
say
entire office.
the entire office.
Yeah.
And a guess is fine.
It's much easier because people just have faith in the brand as far as trust and integrity is concerned. And then we provide the local knowledge behind all of that.
Precisely.
So it's not a question of believability or credibility at this particular point. Yeah.
Yeah. And would you say you've picked up 5 more because of that, you think? Maybe 10 more in the last 90 to 100 days, or any idea at all?
At least. Oh,
that's
at
great.
least.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And we touched on this, and Claire, this is going to be for you. What are 2 of your favorite affinity partners that we have in the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services network? I mean, I know health insurance is one. I know that's been a big hit across our network of 52,000 agents now, 50,000 plus agents now. But if I were to ask you point blank, what are the 2 that you like the most? And I think I know them. I think you touched on both of them already.
I think from a marketing perspective, AdWorks has been a great tool. And on top of that, the training available through AdWorks has been just fantastic. They have a whole menu of different classes. So they come out on Zoom to our office twice a month and really help our realtors learn how to use the program. I think another tool from the marketing perspective that's been really helpful is the RIS Media and the social media posting. It just kind of streamlines all of your marketing efforts into one system and allows you to post without actually having to think about it and schedule out everything that you're going to put online.
I love it. Thank you for that. I couldn't wait to ask this question, by the way, and I'm excited to hear your answer. And just for everyone that's watching, we haven't discussed these questions prior to this interview. I did give them a copy, so I'm excited to see what they're going to say. But what was the single most interesting thing that has happened to you over these last 100 days or so with the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services brand?
Claire, can you answer that?
That's a tough one.
I don't.
We've got a lot of little wins in there.
Driving force behind everything and the momentum that picked up is really something that stands out. I don't think we understood that we'd have to hit the ground running. So there's been a lot to do.
I have said a couple of times now, and I guess I'll say it online, I didn't realize the job was going to be so big. Really. When we signed on, I really didn't have any idea how important it was, how far the reach was going to be, and the change that was going to occur. I was at one point in time a Caldwell Banker broker, and this is an entirely, now, and granted that was in the 90s, but this is an entirely different organization, full of support, which I find absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's not like you are awarded a franchise and then you never hear from them. We have been overwhelmed with classes, consultation, everything.
Online support.
Online, yeah.
It's easy to get a hold of anybody at any point in time. I mean, we're 4 or 5 hours behind most places, and we never have an issue getting a hold of somebody.
No, that's great.
So I did ask your president, Rosalie, when we just started the patient, and we were all overwhelmed with relocation and everything else. And I said, so Rosalie, tell me when I get to go on vacation. And she gave me a specific date. It was in October, actually. It was like 90 days, and then you can go on vacation. Well, this is over 100 days, and I still can't go. We're so busy.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. So any of you that are out there about, you have to put all your vacations on hold for at least 90 days because it's overwhelming.
Yeah, well, and again, it's a large testament to how much you have taken on the responsibility as well, and what you want to get out of this. And again, I applaud you for that because you, your team, everyone in your organization understands the importance. I mean, basically, you're launching a new company. In so many words, the beauty is, and Connie, you said it best, is the local knowledge, the reputation of Dwell, the reputation of you with what you do in business in real estate developments as well as real estate sales, and the relationships you have, that doesn't go away by any means. So that just gets stacked on to a large globally recognized name like Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. And in this case, there's been incredible magic that's happened with that as well, which is a lot of fun to watch. And now this was kind of a loaded question, but Connie, you just answered this for me, so thank you. I was going to say, have we as a franchisor stood behind everything we said we would do, and hopefully have we delivered way more in what we said we were going to do as well?
Absolutely. You feel the same way. Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome.
It's
awesome.
And once you learn how to utilize all of the tools and the systems, everything just becomes a lot easier. So
I love it. Well, that's great. Well, thank you guys. Well, no, here's a tough question, because I might take a couple arrows on this one. I don't know. What I want to ask is, how better can we serve you as an organization, as a franchisor, with everything that we're doing? And if you don't have anything, awesome. If you do, great. We're always open to constructive criticism, because we always want to continue to get better as an organization as well. And we want to make sure that we're over delivering our value.
Well, I think COVID has really eliminated travel. But I would say that, we do feel a bit isolated. We're up here, we're geographically disconnected. And we look forward to your visit and to Chris Stewart's visit. We were very disappointed that we couldn't have a formal launch. And we had it all planned with a crab feed and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we are looking forward to the time when all of you can come and visit Alaska.
Yeah, we are too. I love it up there. As you know, I had a house up there even for a while, and we were super disappointed too, Connie. And you know that we were dying to get up there. It was the perfect time of year to be up there in the summer, and there's so much going on. And Alaska summers, if you haven't been to Alaska, it's stunning. There's probably no more beautiful place on earth than an Alaska summer up there. And I would say we wished so much we could be there. I would say the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow was we did a virtual launch. And for those of you that are watching right now, and the virtual launch was actually really cool. We had not just Chris Stewart, we had Gino Blafari on there, we had Rosalie on there, we had myself. We were able to get the entire, as much of the executive team as we needed and wanted on one call at one time, which was kind of cool. We'd never been able to do that before, given conflicting schedules. And we got some pretty good feedback from, what we had to deal with, because in June, we were still trying to figure all this stuff out with COVID as well.
Right.
And for the most part, and Connie, you did a great job. You had a small breakfast in the office. Some people were dialing in from home and on Zoom as well, but it was so neat to see everybody and be able to interact with everyone and take some questions. But like you, I'm in this business because I love the social aspect of real estate. And I love the social aspect of just building the relationships that we have, because I think that's why we're all in the business. That's why we're all attracted to real estate, because it is social. And as cool as Zoom is, this right here, this is good. This is actually great. You're giving me some great feedback right now as well. This is good for now, but I think face-to-face is great for later, so we will get back to that. I'm quite confident in getting into our new normal, and I can't wait to get up there to see you all as well. But
I would just like to tell everyone that what was most impressive, Troy, was your trip to Alaska in the middle of December last year on your hunt for a broker. Yeah, that was no one, and I visited with them all. No one ever visits in the middle of December.
Well, thank you for that. It was quite chilly, I will tell you, but the good news, there was warm food in the evenings, and it was fantastic food up there as well. So that helped. That helped. But it was fun. It was beautiful. It was absolutely stunning. Anything else you'd like to leave a note for anybody today? I mean, we covered a ton in a short period of time, and like Connie and Claire, we've talked about, we might do one of these a quarter as well, and we might put them out just so people can see the journey and the growth and what's taking place. But is there anything specifically you'd like to leave on a note today?
I think the brand, the name Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices is a golden name. You know, I had for years wanted to have a commercial division, but as a boutique brokerage, Dwell Realty, that just didn't seem to ever happen. And within the first 90 days, we now have a commercial division with 2 longtime, very experienced commercial brokers, and the synergy, and a third as well. But the synergy, they all came as a team. But the synergy between commercial and residential, I have to say, grows every day. So that now we're able to offer a full service brokerage with a wide range of geographical locations, relocation, residential land development, and now commercial as well. And that would not have been possible if it hadn't been for Berkshire Hathaway.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. And thank you for that. And thanks for bringing up commercial. I forgot all about that. And that was such a huge milestone of like 60 days ago that happened.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate both of you so much. I appreciate your entire team so much. It is an absolute pleasure working with you. And I know you know that because we talk probably 2 or 3 times a week and on weekends as well. But I love the energy. It's infectious. And I'm just excited to keep growing up there in the beautiful state of Alaska. So Claire and Connie, thank you guys so much for taking the time today. This is going to be helpful for a lot of people. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thanks.
You bet, guys. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week.